In this video, we will be going over an exercise to teach your dog to accept some basic handling in the form of a collar grab. There are a variety of reasons we may need to grab our dog's collar, whether we need to clip or leash onto the dog, hold them for a moment, or grab them in an emergency. These experiences will be much easier if we already taught our dogs to accept this form of handling. We want to teach this to our dogs to have good associations with us grabbing their collar versus unpleasant ones. Many dogs develop negative associations with a collar grab because it can be uncomfortable to them, and most often it can mean the fun is over. Today we will go over the foundation that is extremely important for us to build with our dogs so we can help create positive experiences, helping us to form a trusting relationship with our pups. For this exercise, we will need a clicker and treats your dog finds very rewarding. I recommend using something of higher value than kibble because we really want to create a positive association. To lay down a fun foundation for this exercise, we're going to take a handful of yummy treats and slowly and continuously feed our dog. We don't need our clicker just yet. As we are feeding, we're going to take this opportunity to reach towards our dog's collar. We are not going to touch or grab the collar just yet. We're going to take a moment to observe the dog's body language to help us determine their comfort level. What we hope to see is soft body language, wiggly, and the dog enjoying the treats. If we notice the dog's eyes are widening, the whites of their eyes are showing, the dog stops eating, or if they get stiff, or if they look at our hand moving towards them as we're reaching towards their collar, then that may be our dogs telling us they are a little uncomfortable. If your dog appears to be uncomfortable with this mild handling, let your trainer know and they can tell you some additional steps to take. For dogs who are willingly taking the food and appear comfortable, we can then continue to continuously feed our dog and touch and grab their collar, starting softly and then making the pressure more noticeable. With this exercise, it is very important to continue to observe the dog's body language to ensure we are working at a pace that they are comfortable with. This is a big part in building a trusting relationship. It is important to practice this step often to really build a solid history of grabbing the collar equals fun. If your dog is doing well with this step, we can move on to the next step. Rather than continuously feeding our pups, we're going to play a game where the goal is for the dog to continue to look at our hand that is full of treats as we reach with our other hand towards our dog's collar. Let's get into the actual process. Here is where you will need your clicker. Take a handful of yummy treats. Hold the handful of treats in front of your dog. If the dog stares at your hand, click and treat. We're going to just continue to reinforce the staring at your hand behavior and do several reps of this to ensure our dog knows what we are asking of them. I look at the hand, I get a treat. For this step, reach towards their collar. If they remain looking at your handful of treats, rather than the hand moving towards their collar, click and treat. Or use your verbal marker, yes or good. If they look at your hand, stop, pause, and try again. What we are doing here is setting the dog up to allow handling through communication. It's like we're telling our dogs, look at my hand, I'm going to do something. When I'm done, you will be rewarded as thank you for your cooperation. If your dog continues to look at or treat hand, that's our dog telling us, okay, I'll do that. If the dog stops and looks at our hand, that's them telling us, no, I'm not ready. We just stop reaching towards the collar to show our dog we are listening to them and respecting their needs. Through this game, we are having an entire conversation with our dog, really without having to talk. Even for such small things as grabbing the collar, our dogs are putting a lot of trust in us to keep them safe. We never know when we will need to grab our dog's collar, but we know it's most likely bound to happen. So let's play these fun games to begin to build a foundation of trust with our dog.